In Europe, business activity keeps falling. Yesterday, the ECB president said that at the meeting, monetary authorities did not consider a key rate cut. However, macroeconomic data is still forcing the central bank to take measures. Economists had expected a rise in the Eurozone PMI, but it dropped. Only the manufacturing PMI remained unchanged instead of climbing to 44.4 points from a 44.2. Meanwhile, the services PMI dropped to 48.1 from a 48.7, whereas analysts had anticipated a rise to 49.3 points. As a result, the composite PMI declined to 47 points from a 47.6 instead of increasing to 48 points. As a result, just after the publication of the preliminary estimates on business activity, the euro started falling. On the one hand, the situation is quite logical as in the last 2 days the US dollar has slumped. That's why weak data was just a minor reason for a decline in the euro. On the trading chart, we see that the euro recovered against the US dollar. Since the beginning of the week, the euro has added more than a 2.5%, recouping almost 100% of recent losses. In fact, there are technical signs of an uptrend revival. However, at present, we can see that the euro dropped from the resistance level of 1.10. It's quite reasonable as the single currency is overbought in the short-term periods. However, if the price consolidates above 1.10 on the daily chart, the upward cycle will continue. Investors were also waiting for the PMI data from the United Kingdom, which turned out to be better than anticipated. Notably, the manufacturing PMI shrank to 46.4 from a 47.2 points against the forecast of a rise to 48 points. At the same time, the services PMI jumped to 52.7 from a 50.9 points instead of inching up to 51.1. Thanks to that, the composite PMI advanced to 51.7 from a 50.7 points. Analysts had foreseen a smaller rise to 51 points. In this light, the pound sterling returned to the levels recorded at the beginning of the trading day. Speculators also supported the pound-dollar pair, thus the price recovered after the recent correctional movement and launched an upward trend. The market movement is inertial and of a speculative nature. Traders are ignoring overbought conditions. That's why a further rising is quite possible, especially if the quote manages to exceed 1.28. In the case of a pullback, the price will slide to 1.27. It's obvious that the market is actively reacting to the business activity figures, and now all eyes are turned to the data from the United States. Interestingly, forecasts are moderately negative. Nevertheless, the greenback will hardly continue losing value. Industrial production data is likely to support the US currency as the decline pace is expected to slacken, and thus the market correction may continue. And that's all for now. We continue to follow developments in the financial markets. Subscribe to our channel and follow news with us. We wish you profitable trading and have a nice weekend and see you on Monday.